Hey guys, gwyned here, bringing you the finals from MPDC Season 20 Worlds. On the bottom is Sohai, and he is playing a Selesnya deck, and Brazil is playing a spellless white weenie list. This is game 2, and Sohai won the first game. Let's get started. So Brazil does choose to play first, and both keep their openers. So last time Brazil got off to a very aggressive start, a little less aggressive this time. See if he's got a turn 2 play. He does with the Sunstriker. This is a little bit unusual in this particular build, but again, a 2-2 for 2 that has lifelink can be very good. And with his Exalted strategy, this definitely could be a pretty decent powerhouse. Let's see what Sohai is able to do. Just drops an Avacyn Pilgrim, and he's going to go ahead and pop in another Evolving Wilds. So probably a little short on mana at this point. We'll see what happens here. So Brazil is able to drop an Exalted guy and is going to swing in here for 3 with the Sunstriker, and the lifelink here is definitely earning its keep. But Brazil is able to play a turn 3 Seraph, which is definitely very strong. But it immediately gets Bonds of Faith, and Brazil's going to continue to swing in here for another 3, dropping his opponent down to 14 while he's at a very respectable 26. Sohai has a pacifism zone to slow down that Sunstriker, as well as 2 more Pilgrims. So not exactly an ideal creature base for him. Having those 3 Pilgrims out is really not great. So Brazil is able to play a Daring Skyjack, which he can actually swing in pretty freely. Well, no, I guess he probably doesn't want to trade it. Never mind. So, interesting enough, Sohai now doesn't really need these, and since one of these will be blocked, and the other, he can bounce off this for no real effect. But the other one will probably get through. So, pretty wise of him to realize that usually these 1/1s are not something you would attack with, but in this situation he can go ahead and do that. And then has a Sentinel Spider to really slow down the board, and that should help stabilize things and keep him alive. So attacks at a 4-2. Let's see if he wants to trade off for the Sentinel Spider. He does not surprisingly. And then Brazil's going to follow it up with another Daring Skyjack. So Sohai has a 5th land. Continue swinging with his 1/1s, no blocks here. And this is why Vigilance is so strong, is this is his best creature yet. He can freely attack and defend with it. So while Vigilance I don't think really is much of an effect in Standard, man, in Standard Pauper it is quite good. Alright, and he has an Attendant Knight as well, and he's looking pretty good at this point. I think he may have stabilized, but let's see what happens next. So Brazil has yet another Exalted guy, so the Daring Skyjack gets pumped up to a 5-2, or excuse me, a 5-3. And at this point, let's see if Sohai is willing to trade for it. Oh, interesting. He's going to just basically trade off the Attendant Knight. That's definitely a good play by him. And then presumably Brazil doesn't have any tricks, although he could have something here, but he does not. So they'll trade off, and he'll pass the turn back. So I continue to attack in with his little 1/1s. One bounces off the wall, and the other 2 get in, dropping him to 13, and he will follow it up with a second Sentinel Spider. So looking pretty strong here. Brazil's definitely going to need some answers. He's able to Bonds of Faith, one of the spiders, and get in with his Daring Skyjack at a 5-3. See if he wants to trade off his other Sentinel Spider here. He does, so the 2 will trade off. Oh, but he has a Smite to save his Spider. Sorry, I clicked through that pretty fast. So very good play for him, and again, Brazil's definitely got his back to the wall. So continues to swing in here. He's able to just keep one of the creatures, bounce off the Guardians, and is down to 7. Alright, see if Brazil has something to get him back in it. Has another Exalted guy, and another Exalted guy. So basically almost has all these little squires on the board. We'll be able to attack in the air as a pretty beefy 5-5, so that is definitely pretty good. Stack all those triggers, and now he's able to fly past the Sentinel Spider. So Sohai's probably going to need either a pacifism, or an enchantment removal, or another flyer to be able to keep that guy back. So he'll drop to 5, and he's got to find an answer this turn, or that'll be game over. So he'll swing in here. He's able to just block one of them and drop to 1. He's going to go ahead and block the Spider as well. Interesting choice. So now his Exalted guy can trade with the Spider again. So let's see if that is in fact what goes down here. It is, so he loses his other Spider, and now they're kind of stabilized. Oh, he had yet another Smite to get rid of the Aven Squire, and again to protect his Spider. So those Smites have been very good for Sohai, basically kept him alive. And Brazil has 2 Loyal Cathars to get on the table, and definitely going to keep Sohai from being able to attack, except now that he has found a travel preparations, that pretty much negates the advantage of the Loyal Cathars, turning his Avacyn Pilgrims into very beefy 3/3s. And now, I think Sohai is definitely is gonna have the advantage in this particular game. So looks like the 2 Loyal Cathars are going to trade off with the Sentinel Spider, and Guardians is just going to bounce one of the Pilgrims. Brazil will drop to 2. And we'll get both of his Loyal Cathars back at the end of turn. Let's see what he wants to do here. I guess swinging with everything, because he can't block that. Is that correct? So yeah, that's going to be 2 damage, 3 damage. So Sohai will drop to 2, and he's definitely going to need an answer now to that Squire, and has a Thraben Sentry as a follow-up. So Sohai is definitely kind of behind here. He's going to go and swing in with these. But he can only block 2 of them, so this 1/1 will get through. So he'll drop him down to 1, but then I think he dies in the follow-through. So block there. Block there. Yeah, that's right. So he'll lose the Thraben Sentry, but drop to 1. And at this point, Sohai goes ahead and concedes because he doesn't have any way of answering the Zaven Squire.